I'm here on a job site with Tim, who owns his own electrical contracting business.
3 employees and 2 work trucks.
Tim traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance. We're positively here where he needs us most.
They sure are.
With step-by-step help on all his insurance needs, all for shockingly low rates.
Shockingly low, huh?
Just a little bit of electrician humour. Do you get it?
I got it.
You know, it feels like we have a real connection. All right, I'll stop.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome, everybody, to the Hockey Think Tank podcast, brought to you by the Hockey Think Tank community. Place for all passionate hockey players, parents, and coaches to go to get a little bit of education and a little bit of inspiration regarding the greatest game on the planet. We are pumped for our mailbag episode today. It is just Jeffrey Jehu Lavecchio and I. And we answered a lot of your questions. Dude, we have the best community out there ever. Not just our Hockey Think Tank community, but our greater podcast community at large. We had so many questions. We got to most of them. And we tried to keep it short and sweet, really short and sweet because of the amount of questions that we got. So we really appreciate you guys reaching out. You guys know that it is our favorite thing, interacting with you in whatever capacity that we can, whether it's these mailbag episodes, shooting us DMs, emails, whatever it may be. So thank you so much for reaching out and asking all those questions. Before we do get over those questions, though, let's bring on the talent of the podcast, Jeffrey Jehu Lavecchio. Vex, what's shaking today, man?
What's up, dude? Just buzzing. Same old that it's been for the last month or two here. Just getting the old new headquarters ready, putting equipment together, and I feel like such a grown-up, dude. I can't imagine how much harder it would be if I actually bought the building. I'm just, leasing, renting, right? And so I met with engineers and the fire marshal, and I've got to get permits and things that I have no idea what I'm talking about. But it's been a really cool experience, doing this whole thing, the biggest space I've had. And so this whole week, it was just meetings and permits and figuring out what I need to put a sauna in this room and rules and regulations. And yeah, I feel like a grown up, dude. How about you?
Gotta love bureaucracy and red tape.
Oh my God, dude. So many. And I'm I just want to put the ball in the hole. Why don't you let me do that? It's just so much easier if I just do it in one time.
I should do that every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, man, it's really cool to see. When is your big headquarters thing, your due date, let's say?
Well, I was trying to get my guys in there, my first group of young guys who are already in town, by May 15th. But I actually think I'm going to get have my first workout on there end of April or May 1st. And I've got a really big, public community workout that I'm running for First Form. I think it's gonna be 200 people outside at this beautiful location here in St. Louis. So if you got any St. Louis listeners or anybody in the surrounding area and you want to come to a really cool health, wellness, free workout with me, free cold plunges, supplements, great people. There's going to be hundreds, there's probably 300 people there with all the workers and stuff. That's April 26th. So that's the end of this month. You can reach out to me on Instagram or my email if you want the link to sign up. I think we probably got 50 spots left right now. So I got that going, and then the gym opens, but I'm going to have a grand opening for the city. I think the mayor is going to speak at it, city officials, all that stuff, probably June 15th. Once I get everything in there and everything's, how I want it and stuff like that. And then we'll have a huge grand opening.
Wow. Is there going to be a ribbon cutting ceremony and stuff?
I might just put some hockey tape and then just little baby scissors. No, I'll get the huge scissors, but just a little white hockey tape strand. Just something
very on brand.
That would be, you just gave me the best idea ever. Thank you.
Very on brand. Who are you going to have to cut it? You just get little Sophie to cut it?
Oh my God. How amazing would that be? Yes. Now I have to.
Oh, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Well, yeah, it's a crazy time of year right now. Nationals just wrapping up for tier 1 and tier 2 and pretty much everybody. And so it's like a crazy time where it's like everything culminates in one tournament for the teams that go to nationals. And like having been there and won it as a player a million years ago, it seems like now, it's just like a great time for reflection, right? It's a great time for reflection to just like think about the year and think about all the great times, think about like how you wish you could have done a little bit better in certain things. And it's just like, I feel like this time of year is always like, just like almost like refreshing in that sense. The weather's starting to get nice. You're kind of closing a chapter on one important part of your year and your life. Looking forward to what's next, looking forward to a little bit more downtime, hopefully looking forward for the kids to play in another sport. And yeah, man, it's just like a really cool time of year right now.
My favorite was in the USHL, like playoffs about to be starting now. And like, if you know that if your team was warming up outside, that you were having a good season.
And it was a good year. Yeah.
Because it was warming up and you're wearing shorts. And so, yeah, this is the best time of year for like juniors. Like, the kids just finished with their nationals, so they're all done now. But now it's about to be, it's college playoffs, by the way. Western Mich, not a big deal. I actually get to go. I didn't think I was going to get to other game, but I'm giving them a speech, I think, at their team dinner Wednesday night before the big game for Frozen 4 on Thursday. And then I get to go to the first game. I won't be able to make the second game when they win the national championship, but I will be there for the semis.
Well, so if they win, it's on you. If they lose, it's also on you. If you're giving a speech on Wednesday, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
That's great. I will say too, before we get over to the mailbag stuff, I know this is like the time of year in youth hockey where people are like kind of setting budgets and kind of planning for next year and everything. And I do have to say, for our youth organization Blueprint, we've been having so many awesome conversations with youth organizations all over North America. And so if you feel like we can be a huge value add to you and your organization, we're going to put that referral link at the bottom of the show notes here too, where you can refer us to your organization. Those have been really cool. We've been having some awesome conversations with some really cool people in the youth hockey game right now. So check that out. And again, like there's only so many of us to be able to do it. So like it's weird to say, but like, get a hold of us as soon as you can, I would say, if this is something that you think could help your organization. So we had a great time with it last year. We did 16 clubs last year, looking to expand to do more this coming year. And so reach out to us, and we're having a blast with that. And then with that, Vex, got some people to thank before we head over to the mailbag stuff.
Yeah, we do.
I want to hear you do icehockeysystems.com. Ready to go. Putting you on the spot. Go.
IceHockeySystems.com, greatest website in the history of the world, greatest company in the history of the world, probably besides Hockey Think Tank and GMT. But these guys are unbelievable. Toph has partnered with them, with the Hockey Think Tank. And if you don't know about their drill drawing software, you're an idiot. Okay. All right. No longer. I'm fired from ad reads from now on. No longer do you have to show up to practice and guess and just pull stuff out of your butt mid-practice, which nobody's happy about. And you're not developing anybody. With their amazing drill drawing software, you can send it out to your whole team. Your coaches can know beforehand, and you can actually be prepared. If you've never been to IceHockeySystems.com, you need to go to that website. You need to check them out, and you need to make sure you are using their unbelievable software. Now we move to Train Heroic. I want to say a massive thank you to Train Heroic. You guys know I've been using their online platform since 2020, which is the reason that I've helped tens of thousands of athletes, hockey players online. My off-season training program just dropped. In the first week alone, we have had hundreds of players buy it. It is a 21-week off-season program. However, you can start it whenever you want. All you have to do is reach out to me. Once you buy it, you get direct access to me via the app, and you can DM me and ask me, okay, Vex, I'm starting on May 5th. How should I tailor this 20-week program? Or, hey, Vex, I'm starting June 1st, so I only have 14 weeks. How should I go about this? Okay. And I am there for you every step of the way. I'll also help you with your supplementation, your nutrition questions, and you can send me videos for form checks. Vex, is my form good here? What can I work on? How can I do this exercise better to get more out of it? all done through the Train Heroic app. So I cannot thank them enough for helping me deliver quality online training program for any player out there across the world who wants it. And I'll be dropping my preteen athlete at home program, which I keep getting tons of parents reaching out asking when that's dropping. And that will be very soon here in the next week. So thank you to Train Heroic.
There we go. Thank you to Helios Hockey as well. Go to helioshockey.com and check it out. It is a product. You put a sensor in your shoulder pad, and it gives you real-time data, real-time feedback on everything from your stride mechanics, which is huge in today's game. We talk about speed and skating and how important it is, and also a hustle score, which is something that the kids absolutely love. Every time you move on the ice, that sensor lights up and gives you a lot of feedback on what's going on. Also, the game changer with this is it pairs up with your video, whether it's Live Barn, your iPhone, your iPad, your camera, whatever it may be, and you can get your shifts or your reps in practice cut up for you directly after you're done with whatever session that is. Absolute game changer. So go to helioshockey.com today and use the coupon code ThinkTank, one word, and you will get 20% off your pro annual or pro 24-month subscription. Or you can go to helioshockey.com/teams and get a discount for your entire team. I will say that they have re-upped with us for another cycle, and they have some really cool things in the hopper. And we're going to be doing some fun stuff with them in the near future here. So be on the lookout for that. Also want to thank Crossbar. They have also just re-upped with us too. And Crossbar is an end-to-end software solution to help you operate your youth hockey club way more efficiently. Again, this is a young and scrappy company. They are phenomenal. We're seeing so many youth organizations change from their website design platform and moving over to Crossbar. And I can't tell you the feedback that we've gotten from the people that we know that use it, that listen to our podcast. It has been 100% positive, and it's really, really beneficial to help you run your ops in your club, which a lot of times can be really, really tough. You want that to be streamlined as much as possible. So what do you get? You get an Unreal, like really sleek and really, really easy to use website design, registration that's really, really easy for everything from your entire season to drop-ins and clinics and lessons. There's a unbelievable club scheduler, a 5-star communication app to talk with all the people in your organization, financial tools and reporting, volunteer and facility management. Like literally this thing has it all, and it's all in one place, which is such a huge value add to all youth organizations out there. So go to crossbar.org today and check that out. Also, thank you to all of our listeners. We love you guys so much. It's why we love doing these mailbag episodes, honestly, because we love the feedback and we love interacting with you guys. If you can do us a solid, the one thing that we would ask in return is if you can interact with our podcast on your podcast app by shooting us a rating or a review. And that just helps with the algorithm. Our mission is to help create a better hockey world. And if you think that we're doing that, then if you can share us and do those things, it just helps us to get into more ears and have a greater impact. So that would be awesome. We appreciate you guys so much. We think you're going to love this episode. So without further ado, here we go with our listener mailbag.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
What's up, everybody? Let's go. We got mailbag episode. Jeffrey, you ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. First question. This comes from our Hockey Think Tank community. If you're not in the community yet, you got to be in the community, man. Community.thehockeythinktank.com. Let's go. Okay, so first question comes from the community. At what age is it important to start quote unquote advertising your kids' accomplishments? For instance, at what age is it important to make an Instagram that showcases your kids' accomplishments or accolades, or is it not important at all? Context: we are family on the West Coast and not sure how to make my son be seen by people outside our area. Go.
It's a great question. Nobody's looking at your Instagram scouting your child. Nobody's looking at your Facebook scout. It's a great question. You don't know, but nobody's following your family Instagram page or Facebook page or Twitter and going, "Oh, I saw so-and-so won this." That's not going to happen. There's cameras in every single rink across America now. Scouts can watch a game no matter where they're at, live barn. If your player is good, scouts are watching. If your player is good and your organization is doing what they're supposed to be, when they get older, they're promoting your players. They're sending out emails weekly or monthly to all the, junior teams, college teams. This happened this past month with our team. So-and-so had this many points, blah, 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 right? If you're good, scouts know about your kids, so you don't need to worry about that. If you want to post and talk about your kid because you love them, awesome. But putting it on social media is not going to help their career for the better. Probably could hurt it, but it's not going to help it.
I will just very briefly, and Vex and I are going to go through these like rapid fire here today. So we're going to hit as many. We got so many people who ask questions for this mailbag episode. So we're going to try and get through as many as we can. And what I will say is, as a former Division I coach / recruiter, if I saw a parent's Instagram where they were like doing that stuff, I'd be like, okay, that's a red flag. I just like being honest, right? Like your kid's play is going to do the talking, and then what their coach says about them is going to mean a lot. And like doing that stuff, like I see even like these little 9 and 10-year-olds have these Instagram player pages and stuff. And I'm like, what is going on here? What is going on? So let your kids play, do the talking. I think that would be the biggest thing. So there we go. Okay. Next question that I have here is, what are some telltale signs of a hockey coach for young kids, Bantam and below, who aren't looking out for the development of their players and perhaps motivated by other things? I think that's a really good question. So basically kind of like red flags that your coach doesn't care about your kid.
Why don't you take this one first?
Like, honestly, I think watch a practice. Like at the end of the day, like watch a practice. If the coach has a plan and if the coach is engaged emotionally and engaged in providing feedback and doesn't just blow a whistle and stand there and do nothing, that is a coach that knows what they're doing and cares. And like, so that's like just the basic, fundamentally, like just watch a practice. You'll understand if that coach is engaged, whether it's with the team or with the kid. And then the other, like, honestly, just like the simple thing too, does your kid enjoy going to the rink? Does your kid enjoy going to the rink? I think that's a big one. And then, like, I think the really good coaches find times throughout the season to provide individual feedback, whether that be through, a one-on-one meeting with the coaching staff and the kid, because you're not supposed to do one-on-one with just a coach and a kid now because of safe sport and stuff, but coaching staff and a kid, or the coach and yourself as a parent and the kid. Is there some sort of kind of like written kind of feedback? And that's something that we provide in our blueprint. We provide like a kind of like a feedback form for coaches to be able to provide for their players and stuff. So are they giving feedback? Is your kid enjoying going to the rink? And like, does it look like the coach is engaged in a practice? I would say those are big ones for me.
Absolutely. And since you specified bantams and below, for sure, peewees and below, everybody doesn't need to play equal time throughout the season. Exactly. But like, is everybody getting a chance to play? It's not, cutting down the bench to one line or two lines in the first period of every game. For me, that's not, focusing on development, and youth hockey is pay to play. So your child should be getting development if you're paying to play. So that would be the big one. That would be the big one for me, is like, are they cutting down the bench every game all the time, way before the last few minutes? That would be kind of telling for me.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Okay. Next question, another one from the community here. Silly season. We just got out of silly season, but tips on enjoying going to the rink when the coach is trying out new players and dealing with the pressure of fighting to keep a spot on the team. And this is at the Bantam level for context here. And I think this must be somebody from the Boston area, because Boston has these ridiculously weird, crazy tryout rules where, like, you actually, what did they call it on the Rink Shrinks when we were on their podcast? Mating season, where you can actually have kids from other teams come and practice with you in, I don't know what the actual dates are, but during the latter bits of the season. And so it's this weird kind of thing where it's like, okay, we're bringing in these kids to kind of look at them, and it's almost like a tryout, but we also have our team, like who's going to be on the team next year? I don't know. And so go ahead, Vex. Like, how do you enjoy kind of like the silly season coming to the rink?
Just remember you're playing hockey. Have fun. Like, it's a game, you know. And in pro hockey, I was talking about this, one of my pro guys today who's back from Finland. He was working out with an OHL kid. And so we were just talking about like how monotonous it can get towards the end of the season when you're playing, you know, into your 30s and things like that. And you're doing the same type of routines, the same type of workouts year after year after year. But then you just I get to go out and play hockey every day. Like, what a freaking life. So for me, it's like, get back to the fundamentals, get back to what it's all about. Just think about having fun, getting on the ice, playing hockey, and just giving it your all.
Control the things you can control. It's the only thing you can do. Control the things that you can control. Your effort, your attitude, the enjoyment that you bring to the rink, 100%. I think when we are focusing on external factors and not the things that bring us joy and not the things that, you know, our why, I think might be the best way. Like, why do you play hockey? I play because it's fun. I play because I love it. I play because I love to battle with my teammates, whatever it may be, right? Going back to the things that you can control can really help in those kind of tumultuous times where the hockey world is trying to eat you up and spit you out at the end of the day, for sure. So, okay, awesome. Next question that I have for you: how do you deal with toxic teammates? How do you deal with toxic teammates? So this is a great one. This is 12U, but I think this is for anybody, really. Like, let's say you're a player on the team and you have teammates that aren't buying in. You have teammates that don't bring a good attitude to the rink every day. Maybe they're energy vampires. How do you deal with those toxic teammates?
What age?
This says 12U, but why don't we do one for younger and one for older?
One for younger. I mean, just go out and practice and outwork them. Like, you know, people called me a Johnny try hard and stuff, you know, at a certain point. But they stopped real quick when I was dummying them in every single drill. You know, if they're trying to catch their breath and they can't keep up with you and you're beating them in every single drill, it's pretty hard for somebody to be chirping you. So from that standpoint, if it's that type of situation, you know, let's just go out there and outwork them. That would be number one. If you're older, I'd say catch them with their head down. legal check. No illegal check, but they got their head down, throw your shoulder at them. Usually in practice, I don't want guys ever hitting a guy in a vulnerable position. But if it's unwarranted and it's like bullying or something like that, you know, play to the drill and know that they're getting the puck where they're going to get the puck and put that shoulder right through their chest.
Yeah, I'll go. I agree with that. I'll go a different kind of way, though. I'll go, a different way. I think get the leaders on the team and go have a conversation with that kid. Because sometimes, especially in youth hockey, kids who are being toxic don't really understand that they're being toxic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they're acting out, whatever it may be. Like, go and talk to that kid and just say, hey, like, what's up? You're messing our practices, like you're bullying kid, whatever it is. Like, hey, you got to stop. It's affecting everybody. And so maybe before you catch them with their head down, you say, hey, and bring it to their attention, because I know I've seen it in youth hockey where there's been a kid or two that have not been buying in. And the best way to get them is for their teammates to call them out and for their teammates to have a conversation with them. So I think that would be first. Also, like, if that's the case and then the kid won't stop, like, I don't think it's tattletaling to go to the coach and say, hey, like, this kid's affecting us. Like, you got to do something about it. Because at the end of the day, like, the one thing that the coach can control is that kid's ice time. And if all of a sudden you go to that coach and say, this kid's and it's a group of you. If it's just you, I would say like make sure you build a consensus first before you do that. But like if it's a group, like go to the coach and say, hey, like we think this kid needs some help, or we think this kid needs to be talked to by you, or whatever. And then the coach can do that too, because sometimes the toxicity is in full view where the coach can see it and then the coach can hold accountable. Sometimes it's in the locker room, or sometimes it's away from the rink where the kid is being toxic. And then it's up to you to either deal with it or then get to your coach to deal with it. And that's happened at the college level. Like we've had leaders come up to us as a coaching staff and say, this guy's not buying him. Sit him in the stands. Like, and we as coaches take that to heart. Wow. Like you guys really think that about this kid. Okay. Like, and then you rely on your leaders and you say, you guys know the room. Perfect. We'll maybe do that or have a conversation, whatever. But like, yeah, I would say use the coach too, if it's something that is getting out of line. Would you say that too?
100%. Totally agree.
Yeah. Okay. Next question here. Maybe I'll take this one. But This is, how do you encourage smaller players to keep working when people underestimate them? Oh, I love this question. And honestly, it's the old adage. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog at the end of the day. And I am a firm believer in that. And so what I would say is be realistic with your smaller son or daughter. Yeah, you know what? You're probably going to have to work a little bit harder than the other people just to get your fair shake. You know what? You're probably going to have to be that much better, but are you willing to do that? And that's what people did with me. And I'm very grateful for that. If people always made excuses for me, like for getting cut because I was too small or not getting the accolades because I was too small, and they, let me feel sorry for myself, then I wouldn't have had the success that I've had in this game. And so, hey, yeah, like there's a reality that, yeah, you're going to have to do a little bit more. Hey, you're going to have to compete a little bit harder. Hey, you're going to have to earn your stripes more than the 6'2" kid or whatever it may be. But also, I've always been a big believer that being small is a positive. There are a lot, like, yes, there are some benefits to being taller and bigger in hockey. There's no question about that. But there's also some benefits to being smaller at the end of the day as well. And so you think about tight spaces and being able to get it. Like, I love being in corners with big players. Love being in corners with big players, because I would do a little stop on a dime and a cutback, and I was already gone by the time that person was even realizing it. And then they had to get their big tree trunk body, around to be able to catch me. And so, like, talk to them, and then like use examples. Johnny Gaudreau, Marty St. Louis, Braden Point, like there's a lot of really good smaller players that you would ask your kid, hey, emulate this person. I'm trying to even think about more players in the NHL right now, but like if you're a girl, watch Kendall Coyne Schofield. Like she's not big, but she's unreal. And you just watch her motor and her work ethic. Like those are things. So like talk to them about the players that have made it. Find a way to make it a positive and be realistic with them. So probably more than anybody needed to know, but have a little bit of experience in this one.
Yeah, 100%. Just don't let your child, your team, anybody make excuses for themselves. Somebody your same size found a way to do it. So it is possible. So if you want it, you got to work for it. You got to, and yeah, you've got to say, yeah, I'm not 6'2". So yeah, some coaches only want bigger guys. So I've got to be that much better. You can't make an excuse for your smaller player. You can't make an excuse for your smaller child, because that's only going to help them not believe in themselves and not believe it's possible, which means they'll completely shut down and they'll never get any better and they'll never reach any of their goals. And that would have started because you or the coaching staff or whatever is kind of like babying them. You can't do it. You gotta push them and help them find a way to use that, like Toph said. Well, you can get up, you can twist and turn and shake and bake in the corners way better because you're lower. You have a better center of gravity. It's harder to hit you, and you can get out of the hole a lot quicker because you're lower to the ground and create, power quicker. Bam, boom. Now it's positive, right? So you've got to help them find that. Don't ever give them a crutch that they're going to lean on so that they have an excuse or feel bad for themselves.
And bam, boom, just like
bing, bang, boozy.
Okay. Next question. I have a forward that's not a physical player, but excels at everything else. How does he learn to add this element to their game?
Who's not a physical player?
Not a physical player, but has everything else. How do you help them to add that to their game?
Does it say the age or no?
Nope, does not say the age.
I'm
Probably an older player, I'm assuming.
I'm going to guess a little bit older player, and I was actually talking to one of my clients' dads today. Something that I recommend for all of the kids who are sheepish when it comes to contact, not super confident in physical battles, is taking some jiu-jitsu lessons or one-on-one boxing lessons. Even though you can't, if it's a 16, 17, 18-year-old not playing junior hockey, you can't fight, but it doesn't matter. It's learning that you can get pushed around, punched, twisted up in a pretzel if you're doing jits, whatever, and you're okay. So that's number one. It helps them with some confidence of that. Two, like you learn some technique and you instantly get more confidence, in yourself. If you are more confident in yourself as a human being on the ice, that will show on the ice when you go into physical battles. This is the reason that I love the gym so much. Obviously, getting stronger, faster, more powerful helps you be a bit better hockey player. But I think what helps the most is the inner self-confidence that you earn by showing up to the gym 4 or 5 or 6 days a week throughout the entire offseason. No one can take that away from you. So like getting them a quality strength program, I'm dropping one here April 1st. Not a big deal. Sign up for the whole summer. That will give him inner confidence. If he does it as it's written and he does every single day and he doesn't miss, he's going to have more confidence on the ice. Get some one-on-one boxing lessons. Take him to some jiu-jitsu classes.
I am such a big believer in martial arts, man. The martial arts, when it comes to confidence, we would actually recommend that to a few kids at Cornell that needed to compete a little bit harder, and it was a confidence thing though, right? A lot of times it was a confidence thing. I don't feel confident in my body and my strength to be able to win these battles. So I'm just not going to engage in them. So really kind of thinking about the why, like, why is it that they're not physical? Are they not confident in themselves? Are they not confident in their, in their body and their strength? Like, what is it that's kind of causing that? And yeah, like we recommended a couple kids get boxing lessons to learn how to hit and to learn how to take a hit, for sure. And martial arts builds confidence, man. Like it really does. And so I totally agree with that. And then honestly, like it's just reps. Get the reps in battle games, small area games. That's a big part of it too. So if like you're a coach, that's why also like I'm a huge believer in I love battle drills, dude. I absolutely love battle drills. They're my favorite drills to do in practice because they have so many different positive outcomes that come from it. 1, you get the confidence and physicality. 2, you get the confidence from winning battles. 3, it's fun. When there's a battle drill and there's a winner and a loser, that's very fun for the players, especially when it's like 2-on-2, 3-on-3 type stuff. It promotes being good in small areas, which when you don't have a lot of time and space, that's a huge determining factor, a huge thing that transfers from level to level. If you can win battles and figure out how to make plays with little time and space, every level you go up, there's less time and space, right? So it's going to be good for development. So yeah, like just putting your kids in battle drills, so many good outcomes that come from that too. Thoughts?
Love that. And if they got brothers, don't break up the wrestling. Let them go at it. Don't break up the fight. Let them go at it. Honestly, like look at our cousins, Cody, Vinny, and Anthony. Like those kids are tough because they used to beat the crap out of each other. You know, and I mean they're not that tough, especially Vinny, but love you, Vinny. I'm just kidding. He listens to the show.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Okay, next question here. What advice do you have for dealing with parents that undermine coaches and your team's culture?
Ooh. I'd be like, well, how are they undermining the team culture? You know, like I would need more specific examples to decide exactly what I wanted to, like what the, not punishment, but, you know, how I would rectify that situation. So why don't you
Sure.
take that
I
one
would
from now?
say, first of all, what you do at the beginning of the year as a coach and as a group will set the standard. So when that happens, then you're much better able to deal with that situation because there's an outcome and a consequence potentially. There's a standard of the way that we do things, a standard of behavior, and this is acceptable, is not acceptable. And so with that, the more that you educate your parents on what you want your culture to be, and the more kind of like detailed you are, the less that there's going to be a gray area for parents to like do weird, stupid stuff. You know what I mean? So like, I think that's big. And then with that too, like I've always been a big believer that like parents should almost police themselves, you know, like the strength of the parent group a lot of times can negate some of those issues from the vocal minority of crazy parents, if that makes any sense. And so like the more work you do as a coach or as a manager or as an organization to help build parent culture, I think the more willing you're going to have for parents to kind of squash any of the negativity that a parent or two are kind of living by. So like it goes to like, make sure you're laying out the standards at the beginning of the year of what's expected behaviorally from the parents, and then empower the parents through connection, doing things together, building of the parent culture to really kind of take care of each other.
Love that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. And like Toph said too, you know, zoom out and, you know, not you should have done a better job, but like make sure in coming years, you know, next year, you address these issues up front. And the more clearly delineated you can make, you know, what's acceptable and what's not, and, you know, if this happens, this is a consequence, then it's not like you're not being, you know, a bad guy. It's like, no, you signed up for the rules. We said in the first meeting, these are the team or the organization rules. You do this on this team. You don't do this on this team. If you do this, this is a consequence. You know, so the better that you lay out what is expected of players, parents, coaches, volunteers, the easier it is to rectify the situation because you got it right there and you told them all, you know, beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I've said this, I think I said this on a couple podcasts ago because I've gotten a few emails about it, but like we have a preseason parent meeting template that we give to people that are with our blueprint, and I'll give it to anybody because I think this is really, really, really important. So shoot me an email, topher@thehockeythinktank.com, and I'll send it over to you. But I think like addressing it even at the beginning that these are the things that cause like toxicity in a season. A lot of times it's parent gossip and it's parent cliques that do that. And so when you're upfront about it and say, hey, if you see this, like, let's make sure that as a parent group or with the manager's blessing, and I can get involved as the coach, we make sure we nip that in the bud right away, because that ultimately at the end of the day is a huge like factor in like just people not enjoying their experiences throughout the year. So just being upfront. So we have that template. Shoot me an email and I'll send that over to you. Okay. Interesting question right here. This is for the youngins, the young folks. What do you think about going on the ice? This is going on dirty ice for mites every practice to get the extra 10 minutes. So not waiting for the Zamboni to go, but like having the mites go ahead right out and get an extra 10 minutes.
I'd ask, how bad is the ice? You know, like if the ice, you know, if there was 40 squirts on the ice beforehand and they chewed the hell out of the ice and there's ruts everywhere, because like I've seen that in, you know, these youth rinks, like okay, like that's not great. That's bad for the ice, which is going to wind up costing you more down the road because they're going to have to take the ice out at some point. Or it's kind of like dangerous because there's tons of ruts out there if you're running small area games over and over and over, and they're digging into the same spots over and over. But if it's just like the ice wasn't Zamboni, but like the ice is fine, there's just like, some snow on there, go ahead. I don't know. The puck's going to slide slower, and if they're young and they're weak, but like, if they're just kind of like walking on the ice and slapping at the puck, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, this is. I would agree. There's more questions that need to be had. Like, was it a midget team that was on the ice beforehand? Or was it another mite team that was on the ice beforehand? Because judging on what the ice looks like, and dude, just like watching the NCAA tournament right now, like the ice in some of these places are awful. Like pucks freaking bouncing everywhere and everything like that. And so you don't want to cheat the kids out of the experience of not being able to handle a puck, or like it being really hard to handle a puck when you're out there. Right. So I think it is it depends kind of scenario, but any way that you can try to get creative to get more kids on the ice more times is a huge value add. Value add. And honestly, working with so many of the organizations this year, one of the things that we do is we talk about ice utilization, because in youth hockey, right, like a lot of times there's rink shortages. There's too many players and not enough ice. And so you have to find ways to get creative, to get more touches for your players, whether that's more time on the ice, whether that's more amount of times that they're out there. So there's different creative things that you can do. And I think it was actually a really big value add for the clubs that we worked with this year. And Maddie Thomas, who works with us, created this ice utilization sheet, which is like creative ways to again, try to get the kids on the ice more. And it's huge. So get creative. Every rink is not created equal. There are different things that you can do, thinking about even ice cut times and stuff like that, but also how to split ice. You're going into thirds, different themes, so you can get different amounts of players on the ice for different practices. Like there's so many creative things that you can do. But yeah, as far as the mites are concerned, maybe who's on the ice beforehand and how bad is the ice, I think is a good one. Yeah. Okay, next question. Where do you see the future of NCAA hockey with the CHL? Specifically, will football schools get hockey? Go.
I mean, I didn't even think about the possible ramification that we're going to get an influx of more schools because of that. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know if that'll happen. It's not like you're getting 100 new forwards, to join college hockey or anything like that, and nobody's leaving. I don't know. I would love to see bigger schools get hockey programs. I would love to see any school that has the viability to get a Division I hockey program. But hockey programs cost a buttload of money. Ice, rink, sticks, skates, travel. It's a buttload of money to do this. So I just want to keep saying buttload. So I don't think that's going to be affected, but it is going to change what happens in juniors. I mean, the junior landscape's going to change. The signings are going to change. Free agent signings are going to change. Like it's going to be a whole new world. Shout out Aladdin. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. A whole new world.
A dazzling place. I never knew.
Yes. Anyone our age has to know the words of that.
Well, my kids are into Disney now too. So, you got the Disney playlist on Spotify or whatever. Every once in a while you get an Aladdin song on there. I think, man, I mean, we could do an entire episode on this, to be honest. As far as like the one question, will football schools get programs? I mean, yeah, if they have like a donor that gives $50 million for a rink and now scholarships and all that kind of stuff, like running an NCAA program of any sport costs a lot of money. And with the changing landscape with NIL and transfer and all this stuff, like the financial implications of all this stuff, it's going to take a while to figure out, and schools are trying to figure it out right now. So like, while there's a huge influx of talent now able to play, the tough part is that it's going to be pretty much the same amount of schools for the near future. Maybe one or two will add. We've added a few in the last couple of years, but like at the end of the day, adding schools is going to take money.
A lot of it.
Plainly, it's going to take money, or an athletic director that for whatever reason thinks it's a really big value add to their athletic department to add a men's and women's program to their repertoire. What I will say is, like, when you think about how is this as a whole going to affect hockey, like there's going to be a huge trickle down effect as it relates to the player pool. The biggest thing, right, is the player pool has just been expanded by 60 really good junior teams, 3 really good junior leagues up in Canada. And so what you're going to see is college hockey is going to get a lot better. Junior hockey is going to get a lot better. And it's like, what's the North American League going to look like? What's the USHL going to look like? What's tier 3 junior hockey going to look like? Because a lot of the kids that would be going off to school, Division 3 hockey is going to get a lot better. It's going to get a lot better, right? And so there's a lot more, like, reality. There's a lot more competition for spots right now. It's going to be harder to play college hockey at the Division 1 and the Division 3 level because of the amount of players that just got added to the player pool. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so college hockey in and of itself is probably going to get a lot more Canadian. College hockey in and of itself, it'll be very interesting to see how many of the top players that are playing major junior that come down to play college hockey, whether they still have junior eligibility or whether they've exhausted their eligibility, but they're not ready to play, pro hockey yet. And so, yeah, like a lot will as in anything, when there's a change, we're going to see how it plays out. And the crazy part is that there's so many changes going on at the same time within a 2 or 3 year span. When you look at college hockey, right, you have the transfer portal rule, you have the NIL, and in hockey, you have major junior, all coming in within a 2 to 3 year span. Like, fundamentally, and I still keep in touch with so many people in college hockey, it's just completely different. It's so completely different than it was 5 years ago, and especially 15, 20 years ago when we were playing in it. And, at the end of the day, it's changed the game, man. All these things have changed the game.
Could players like let's say a young player goes to a college and has a decent year, and then an OHL team wants him. Can he then jump to the OHL? And then what happened? The end of it, doesn't sign in the NHL. Could he go to a different college?
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be wild.
As far as I know, yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, people are doing that with the USHL right now, and so why wouldn't they be able to not do that in major junior? I don't know for a fact if that's a thing, but like,
it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. Next couple of years are going to be wild.
Yeah, and maybe not. I mean, it's interesting, right? Like, I know a couple kids that were on college teams and went to the OHL. Now, whether or not they're going to come back to college or whether they'll stay up there and then go pro, I mean, it's kind of like an individual basis. And I don't know the exact rule of, like, if you can play college and then go play major junior and then come back, because it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Like, this is next year is going to be the first year. I'd have to ask somebody about that, but
I wonder if, like,
it's a wild west, dude. You talk to anybody in college hockey right now, it's it's insane.
Like, I wonder if they'll, like, freshman year of college, go to the OHL for a year, go to a different college. Like, is that going to be your second year? Is that going to be your third year?
Well, you don't need to do that because there's a transfer rule now. You don't have to sit out. Like, people would come for, like, before, what would happen if you came in as like a true freshman or a 19-year-old and you had a really bad experience your freshman year and you wanted to transfer, then because you still had eligibility for juniors, you'd go back to the USHL, and then that would be your sit out year, and then you'd go back to play at a different school. But you don't have to do that now because there's no penalty for transferring. Right. So I don't know how much you would even see that anymore.
Oh man, so weird. I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore.
But we've talked about it. It's just so different. Like, for you at Western, was there any ever thought of ever transferring? I know for me,
no, zero
chance. Like,
zero.
No way.
That was like WMU on my heart. Like, let's go, ride or die. Like, we're gonna make this place better. Like, that's all it was. There was no thought of ever leaving there.
No. So okay, we beat that one to a dead horse. But yeah, college hockey, it's a whole different landscape now. Okay, pre-game dynamic warm-up for young players. This person says mites, but let's go pregame dynamic warm up for mites, younger players in youth hockey.
How old are mites?
Like 9, 8, 9.
I don't know. Dynamic warm up. Have some fun. Play with a soccer ball. Throw the football around. Make hockey fun again. Like very, very simple stuff. Literally, soccer ball. 2-ball game, hand-eye game. Have some fun. Just get them balancing. Like literally, just moving around. Play tag. Literally, play tag.
Tags. Races.
9-year-olds don't need a dynamic warm up. But if you're trying to teach them kind of the value in preparation and little things like that, maybe a 5-minute warm up for 9-year-olds, and it could be some jogging, some moving, and then play stuck in the mud tag or run a one-on-one football game, receiver versus defensive back, and the coach throws the ball. And everybody gets to go offense once, defense once. It'll be super fun. It'll get them moving. They'll have to turn, use their head, use their eyes, know where they are in space and time, little things like that.
Love it. Yeah, I'm in total agreement. Play tag, do races. When I was with Stan, right, even as a Bantam, but Pee-wees and Bantams, our pregame warm-ups was all races and competitions and relay races and fun stuff.
Yeah,
you don't have to do a quote unquote dynamic warm, just get them moving.
Get them moving, baby. Get them having fun, smiling and giggling.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Next question here. I need a blueprint how to team build. Pete says 2v2 tournaments, relay races, all that kind of stuff wasn't enough for this person. So what are some things? Let's keep it at the young ages. Let's keep it at the young ages here.
You should take this because you literally have something called the blueprint.
And in our blueprint, we actually do have a team building guide. It's a ton of different team building activities that you can do. At the end of the day, I think a big part of it in youth hockey is just have fun doing fun things together. Go go-karting or go play mini golf and make it a competition. At the hotels, play mini sticks, rent a conference room, and play mini sticks, do team meals together at tournaments. That's just informal stuff, but it goes a long, long way to building memories and creating relationships, which is ultimately what youth hockey is about when you think about your experience outside of the hockey development side of things. And so, it really, there are some things that you could do, but just informal activities as a group, that's just such a simple but powerful thing if you do it consistently.
Yeah, and don't put pressure on it. We're doing team building.
Yeah.
It's hey, let's all, we're in Minnesota. Let's all go to Mall America and ride the log flume. It's not team building at 4 p.m. At 4:05, we're going to do this. At 4:07. It's more relax, feel it, have some fun. It's more like a party than a team building, when they're younger. You're not trying to get them to be military and so let them have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Okay. Here's one on tryouts. Why won't youth programs outside of Minnesota move away from spring tryouts for fall teams? I've been trying to make it makes sense here in my area, but I have yet to hear a reasonable explanation. There are 5 months of development missed by the spring tryout model.
Whoever you are that asked this question, I totally agree. I see it the same way. It's also a huge boo for midget teams who have players trying out for juniors, and then they can't tell everyone who makes the team. That's always such an awkward time. It's we think you're on the team, but you also might go and make a junior team. So then you got to tell the kid who's in the slot below that, maybe you have a spot on our team. Maybe you're going to Central States. I don't know, because we got to wait on this kid for junior tryouts. To me, it doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. I am also a big believer in fall tryouts, 100%. Earn it, Matt. But here, the one thing that kind of stinks about this is that if we really want to have an upfront and honest conversation about this at a lot of levels, tryouts aren't even really tryouts, right?
Yeah.
it's become recruiting, and people know what the team is before tryouts even happen in a lot of different spots. I'm not saying everywhere, but like that's just kind of like a reality. Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement that a fall tryout to make a team is the best way to pick a team. Now, just to give the other side of it, right? Just to give the other side of it. So when you think about like Bantam and midget hockey, the reason why it's hard to have fall tryouts at the tier 1 level anyway is because academies can recruit whenever they want. Right? Academies can recruit whenever they want. And so because they're involved with the school, prep schools and academies can recruit your kids, and you can't recruit anybody else because you're bound by USA Hockey recruiting restrictions and rules based on whatever your affiliate is. And so by having like your spring tryouts right after the season, you can kind of lock in your team and lock in your roster. Even though they're still like not really tryouts, it's recruiting. You know what I mean? So like, but that's part of the reason why they do it. Also scheduling certainty, the players that are on the team know what their schedule is going to be, throughout whatever the summer. And then as they get into the year and stuff like that. The one thing that I really hate about spring tryouts is the fact that, well, first of all, it's not, if it's a spring tryout, it's not a tryout. Number one, if it's a spring tryout, it's not a tryout, it's recruiting. But also like when you think about how crazy it makes people in the months leading up to spring tryouts and the jockeying for positioning that goes on. And like, honestly, like when you think about even as a coach, right, if you have to recruit your team in those months, it's taking time away from you, like making your players better. There's only so many hours in a day. And so that time that you're spending on the phone recruiting families or whatever could be used by doing video for your team, could be used by extra sessions on the whatever, right? Like there's an opportunity cost to it. And so like it sucks, especially from like December until like the entire winter, from December until April when tryouts actually are for the tier 1 clubs in a lot of these places. So I don't know. That's just like a lot of different ways to go in thinking about this. And there's pros and cons to both. But at the end of the day, again, like all things being equal, earn a spot with a tryout. Like at some point, you're going to have to earn a spot with a tryout. The higher the level that you go, like, and maybe it's not even a tryout, but you're going to have to earn a spot on a team when you get to college hockey. You're going to have to earn a spot through a tryout in junior hockey. You're going to have to earn a role in a lineup in high level hockey. And so earning ice time, earning a spot on the team, that's valuable experience.
Got nothing to add. I love it. I wish it'd be mandatory. Like tryouts couldn't start before, I don't know. I wish it was like August 31st. Now these kids are like there's some teams that are like practicing in July. I'm like, July? That's baseball. It's not hockey. Come on. The kids be kids, for God's sakes.
Yeah. It's hey man, it's like, dude, my little nephew plays travel baseball and they're practicing in January. So this is it's insane. Everything. Yeah. It's absolutely insane. U Sports is off the rails. Okay, next question I have on here. And this is one that like I want to bring up for a second, but this needs like a full episode. This needs a full episode. So the question is, what are your thoughts on USA Hockey's proposed National Development League for Tier 1 at the 15U and 17U levels? Would this not narrow the pyramid and cause people to drop being a multi-sport athlete sooner in pursuit of playing for one of these 36 teams? So have we talked about this, Vex? I think we have. This new NDL, National Development League, that USA Hockey is putting out there for Tier 1.
I know you and I have talked about it off air. I don't know. Have we talked about it on air?
We have not. I don't believe we've talked about it on air.
Okay.
I don't believe we've talked about it on air. So what I would, and maybe we can put this in the show notes, but I think the biggest thing is if you are not familiar with the National Development League, which is kind of like the next big thing that USA Hockey is trying to do. And so they first put this out to the public, let's call it, in Nashville at the USA Hockey Winter Meetings, which I was at. And they proposed this league and everybody was kind of like, what the hell's going on, right? Like, what is this? And basically, it's USA Hockey's. This isn't them talking. This is me talking. This is USA Hockey's. They're trying to rein in Tier 1, basically. It's become the Wild West, Tier 1 hockey. And if you talk to many people, there's way too much Tier 1. A lot of Tier 1 is really watered down around the country. We've moved so far away from the community model and into this Tier 1 kind of structural model, but it's just gotten out of control. And so USA Hockey is trying to rein it in. And with that, what they're trying to do is create what they're calling this National Development League, which is at the 17U and the 15U levels. And it's not to get rid of other Tier 1. What they're saying is it's going to work in conjunction with what Tier 1 is at right now. So this is probably a discussion for another day, because we can go on and on about this. And as more people get to know about it and more opinions start getting formed, there are some things that have been presented about it that I like. There are some things that have been presented about it that I absolutely cannot get on board with. And so what we'll do is there's a link for frequently asked questions about this new National Development League. We will put it in the show notes. So go there and check it out. But basically what USA Hockey is going to do is they're going to pick somewhere between 30 and 40 youth organizations. So not just specific teams, but youth organizations that they feel from some objective measure are the quote unquote elite programs at developing players in our country. And they are going to create this National Development League with different stipulations and guidelines and stuff like that will work in conjunction with Tier 1. And so I'm sorry to do this, everybody, but that's where I'm going to leave it right now because I do have so many more thoughts about this. But what I want to do is again, like I want to let you read it, because it's wild that not as many people know about this yet that I thought was going to know about this. Like, it's kind of kept under the radar. It's not for next season. It's going to be potentially for the season after that. But we're going to put this FAQ sheet, a link to it, in our show notes. Check that out. I don't want you to be blinded by my thoughts on it. I want you to have your own thoughts for yourself if you're in the Tier 1 world, or if you have, thoughts on how hockey should be ran in the US. So go to the show notes, click the link, form an opinion. And this is definitely something that we're going to come back to in the future.
Yeah, I only know about it what Toast told me about it. So I am definitely not informed enough. Haven't spent enough time looking at it. And I don't love giving my opinion on anything unless I feel like I have enough knowledge to give an opinion. So I will be staying silent on this one. Sorry, guys.
I have opinions. I have plenty of opinions, but that'll be for another day. Like, I really want people to kind of not just like, this is what Toph thinks, and that's what it should be. Like, I want you to form your own opinions before we talk about it. And it's wild. Like, this is a big deal. Like, the way that they brought this out in Nashville was like, this is the third kind of like big pillar thing that USA Hockey will have done. So the first one was the NTDP back in the late 90s. Like, that was a really big deal. The next was the ADM in, I think it was 2009, 10, somewhere around there. I might be getting years mixed up. And then this would be kind of like the third big thing that they're trying to do. And so, yeah, like I said, knowing as much as I know about it as of right now, there are some things that I like. There are some things that I really don't like. There's still a lot to be flushed out on it. This is just a proposal. It's not something that's set in stone yet. From what I believe, it still needs to be voted on in whatever voting capacity USA Hockey needs to do. But we've given enough airtime to it without giving any opinions right now. So maybe we should move on. But I do think somebody has to do something to rein in Tier 1 because it's out of control. Would you agree?
Yeah. It's a big wet fart, right?
It's out of control. It's way too expensive. It's absolutely insane. So anyways, last question I have. So this person goes, "Hey, Toph, I'd like to know your thought process and routes you and Vex took on the ice. What routes did you find the most success on the ice and why? What was your thought process on them? Did you use markers on the ice like dots, circles to map your routes? So
I'm guessing you mean just like things you did a lot on the ice, or are you a football player? No, it's
I will start this by saying that you're hearing a lot more high level coaches talk about the routes that you take, routes that you take on different areas of the ice when you have the puck, when you don't have the puck, things like that. That is not something that we grew up with. This is something that's relatively new. And it's basically like kind of like, again, it's routes. Like, where do you go on the ice to have success with the puck, without the puck? And so I'm seeing your face.
Like it's probably the same thing as like, oh, you're the weak side winger, you slash across. Like, that's a route because you're doing route 50 times in a game on the breakout. You know, I mean, I was a left winger, so if the far side got the puck on the hash mark in the defensive zone and we're breaking out, I'm sprinting through the middle from the left side of the ice, through the middle of the ice towards their side, slashing through, trying to get behind the strong side D-man, who would be the right winger if that's you with the puck, trying to get behind him so that I can push that other D-man back, and that caused the strong side D-man to make a decision. Am I going to back up, or am I going to stay or pinch? And then they're trying to put it behind him and give me the puck. I mean, one thing that I always used to do, because I was just good at it, and also talked about it many times on the podcast, like I didn't play my head up until I got much older, is I would just get the puck, take it to my backhand, and just put my head down and wheel as hard as I possibly could and try and take the puck to the net and have somebody else score a goal with the puck leaving there after I trucked the goalie or whatever, created confusion. And if I couldn't beat him, then I would pull up. You know, I just always was way better at taking my backhand, but didn't work on skills like kids do now. So, I mean, you know, we called it slashing. We didn't really call it routes, but I would always take the puck to my backhand. As a winger, I'd slash across the ice. You know, often in pro hockey, in the D zone, if you're the weak side winger, at least when I was playing in the AHL, like you'd always have to be right off the post, because more often than not, you were catching the puck in the middle of the ice on the breakout and then bumping it wide to the winger, because teams were so good at coming down the wall and not allowing that pass. So instead of like kid hockey, you usually pass it up the wall from behind the net. In the AHL, we were almost always passing it right through, almost through the crease.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think it's just a different terminology, right? Like, it's just, what are you doing? A lot of times when you talk about routes, it's without the puck. You know, it's without the puck, and it's space. Yeah, how are you getting to space to be able to support the player that has the puck? So think about, like, what's your route as a D2 going back to support the puck on retrieval? Right. And that could be different based upon the pressure that D1 who's going back to retrieve the puck has.
Yeah, it's like you need to read it. Like,
where's the center going on a breakout? You know, low and slow. Like if it's a D to D, you want to be behind the puck and low. For the most part, that's how people teach the route of the center. You know, is it a slash? Is that your route as the weak side where you're coming out? On the forecheck, what are your routes? You know, F1, your route is usually inside out, right? It's inside out, force them to try to go up the wall into the player that's going to seal the wall. It's, I don't want to get too into it because there's so many different quote unquote route, but like at the end of the day, like just teach your kids to be able to support the puck. Like if you can teach puck support, you're a good coach. And like that's a big deal.
And get it in their head that it's your job without the puck to get open, not the guy's job who has the puck to pass it to you. If you instill that in them, they will be such better players when they're older.
Yeah. I partly wanted to ask that question to see the look on your face.
I was like I don't know. I trained some guys in the NFL. Is that what we're talking about here? A button hook?
Yeah. You're going to do a slant and a button. He button hooked me. I didn't know he was going to button hook me. Do you know what that's from?
No.
Do you remember Adam Sandler's CDs back in the day when we were like 10 years old?
Garaputo, of course I did.
Yeah. Remember the goat?
Hell yeah, I remember
you button hooked me. I didn't know you were going to button hook me. I don't know. You probably don't remember that. But anyways, anybody who's like our age remembers Adam Sandler's like CDs back in the day. Remember like Toll Booth Willie?
Oh, the hypnotist. Unbelievable. He's farting. Unbelievable. Or the If Staz is listening to this, he's gonna laugh so hard at this. Oh man, I really got to pee. Do you remember the pee one? It's like the longest pee ever. I think that was what it was called. You want to laugh. Well, you got to be our age and know Adam Sandler.
Those
Adam
Adam Sandler CDs back in the day were like the funniest things ever. Absolute funniest things ever.
Staz after this, and I'm going to say that Adam Sandler longest pee just came up on our show. What are we doing?
Oh man. All right. Love this. Thank you for so we tried to get through as many as we can. There are some that we didn't get to. Really apologize, but we're hopping on to an hour here. But yeah, thank you. This is why people like our listeners are the best.
Dude,
our listeners, the people who follow us on socials are the absolute best. Like the amount of people who reached out with questions. And if we didn't get to yours, or if you have other questions, shoot us DMs, right? Shoot us DMs, shoot us emails. Like we'll respond to you. And that's a big part of what we love to do with the podcast is being able to interact with you guys. It's why we love doing these mailbags every once in a while. And I know we got to a lot of different things, which is really, really cool, because one of the things that's great about our listeners is that, like, I know NHL GMs listen to our podcast. They've told me. I know that like Mite hockey parents listen to our podcast. They've told me. And so it's really cool to get these questions and how different they are in so many capacities. And I think that's really fun. Really, really fun. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. And hopefully you got some good perspective today. And hopefully Jeff made you smarter. Woo! This NHL season has been as predictable as a puck rolling on its edge. No one knows where it's going, but that just means there's time for your favorite team to figure things out and games left for you to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. And if you are new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. NHL and NHL team marks are the property of the NHL and its teams. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.